guys, welcome back to my page. Thank you so much for being here today. It's so good to be back. If you have noticed or have not noticed, I was away for 2 weeks, but actually this is the first time I've been filming in 5 weeks because I pre-recorded my last video. So it feels really good to be back. I was away in Toronto visiting my family with my husband, and it's just, we flew in 2 nights ago, so it's so nice to be back in Vancouver. So good to be in our apartment. It's a sunny day. I'm really grateful for the weather being more mild here, and I'm just waiting for Adam to get home from work, and then we're gonna go on a walk. And yeah, I'm really grateful to be back. As much as I really miss my parents, it's good to be home now. Thanks guys so much for your patience and also for your prayers with us getting better, because I made that post about us getting sick, and yeah, just thank you guys so much for your prayers. It means a lot. So in this video for today, I just wanted to share a quick message with you guys that God is working out all things for good, and truly whatever the enemy has meant for evil, the Lord is going to use it for good. And I really experienced that just this past week. I was not going to talk about this now just because I still feel like we're coming out of the woods from experiencing this, and I don't really like to talk about things when I'm still processing them. But my husband said that he gave me the go-ahead for me to be able to talk about it because it's more his situation than mine. Well, actually, no, it's both of our situations, but it happened to him. And he gave me the go-ahead to talk about it in this video, and I'm gonna try to not go into too much detail, but I just more so want to share with you guys that, like, no matter what you're going through, the Lord is going to pull you out of it, even if it feels impossible at the time. So anyways, we were in Toronto for 5 weeks. The way that we were even able to get there was a huge miracle in itself, because if you don't know, Canada is super locked down right now. So for us to fly and everything was really difficult, and the Lord made a way. That's a whole other video, and I'm actually going to make a video about that. But anyways, we were only supposed to be in Toronto for 3 weeks. We ended up there for 5 weeks because both my husband and my family, we all got sick, and then obviously we couldn't get on our flight, so we had to stay there for 2 more weeks to be able to fly. So that happened, and it ended up, you know, even just that in itself actually can just be like tagged onto the story, because I was ready to fly home. Like in 2 days we were ready to fly home. I had a lot of stuff to do here. I was, you know, ready to go back, and then we can't get on our flight, and we're like, oh my gosh, we have to just like be in isolation for 2 weeks. And we were sick, and it just felt like, you know, I was like, seriously, like I thought we had favor. Why did this happen to us? And it ended up being a huge blessing, because even just that in itself, me and my husband went to Toronto to be able to get rest and be able to hear from the Lord more. And it just ended up being so busy. And we ended up just like doing so many unexpected things that we never really fully got that rest. And so we kind of like got out of resting. And then the Lord provided us rest. He allowed us to rest anyways for 2 weeks, even though that doesn't really sound ideal to be isolating and to be sick. But I think many of us know that when we're in that situation where we're isolated and sick is really the time that the Lord can speak to us the most, and the time that we can really actually be replenished. And rest is so important. It's more important than even the tasks that we have to do, because without getting filled up and resting, we're not even able to go out there and put anything and be effective in what we're doing. So basically, if we don't rest, the Lord is going to force us to rest in one way or another. But the other part of it, which again, I'm going to try to not go into too much detail about, my husband in the past had struggled with anxiety. This is just, you know, we all have certain things that we struggle with, and this is a way that the enemy really had come in and was like tormenting him. And we know kind of like the cause of why this happened. But basically about like 4 days or five days or something like that before, maybe 4 days before we were about to fly, on the Sunday night, my husband just had this incredibly crazy panic attack / anxiety attack. It started on Sunday night and it lasted all the way till Thursday. And I have never seen anything, like I have never seen an attack this bad before. I used to struggle with anxiety, but the attacks would last for not that long, like 15 minutes. This was non-stop. There was no relief. And it went on literally day and night for like 4 days straight. And that you know, 4 days doesn't sound like a long time, but when you're being completely tormented, that feels like an eternity. And it was just like my husband said, it was the hardest thing he has ever gone through. And for me, it was the hardest thing for me to see and for my parents to see, I'm sure. But praise the Lord, we have the most incredible parents and the most incredible friends and family who have been lifting us up in prayer throughout that entire week and helping us with so many things. We have a friend that like texted us this beautiful vision that he had for Adam of his breakthrough, and we had so many people like hooking it up and like coming over to help him. And so praise the Lord for that. Like seriously, we have the most incredible family and friends ever for those prayers and help. But it was like, it was so difficult. The best way that I could describe it, I mean, obviously it was a demonic attack, but the best way that I could describe it is it was as if he was being like electrocuted for 4 days straight. There was no relief, there was no break. Obviously we felt completely hopeless. Like we felt completely hopeless. First, when it happened, I thought, okay, we'll wake up in the morning and then he'll be better. But we ended up having to take him to the hospital. We had to go to the doctors. I was calling so many doctors, and we were like praying like crazy. And the thing that was hard is that we didn't feel God's presence and we didn't feel like our prayers were being answered. Genuinely, we felt completely hopeless, and my husband felt so hopeless that he, like, I don't even want to repeat how bad he felt because I don't want to give the enemy that like power, but he thought he was at death's door. Like he genuinely thought that, and I could tell that by the things he was saying and the way that he was acting, that he thought he was not going to be here anymore. Yeah, like right now I don't even like to talk about it because I'm still processing it. And you guys know, if you've watched my videos, I'm very transparent, I'm very open, and I will share any struggle that I've gone through, but I will share it after I have processed and healed from it so that I'm able to share. So again, I'm just sharing because my husband has given me permission to be able to share a little bit about this, and I thought, you know what, I hadn't prepared a topic for today, so I'm going to use this as a sermon. And that's what I like to do, and that's what the Lord has been allowing me to do with this channel, is that the things that I've walked through, he will teach me something in it. There will be a huge lesson, and then I can then share it with you guys, hopefully to give you hope. So anyways, I just wanted to let you know that whatever it is that you are going through, it may feel like, you really might feel like you don't feel God's presence, you don't hear his voice, you don't feel like he's answering your prayers, and your situation is not changing, and it is absolutely terrifying and hopeless and so scary. And I just want to let you guys know that that's really how we felt. Like we really didn't know, is there going to be a light at the end of the tunnel? And miraculously, like, you know, we're not fully out of the woods, but miraculously my husband was able to get on a flight and get back to Vancouver, and he is doing like so much better. He's at work today, which is a huge miracle. Like the fact that he is working today is insane. The Lord performed like a huge miracle. But the thing is, the main thing I wanted to share is that the thing we kept repeating is that the Lord is going to work this out for good. Even though as bad as this looks, it looks like the enemy has his hand on him, the Lord is going to work this thing out for good. And he already has. Even just like the way that this anxiety attack came about, we know it's not just about like, oh, it was just an attack of the enemy. There are things that led up to it that Adam needed to receive healing from, with grief and with trauma and with different things that have happened in his past that he hasn't been able to work through and process. So we know kind of like why this happened, but it was like a matter of time. It was like, if you picture, there was so much pressure. It was like a lid was put on top of like a pressure cooker or something. I don't think I've ever used one of those, but I've heard this analogy. And it was like on top of a pressure cooker, and at one point you knew it was just gonna like pop, like it was gonna happen. That's, you know, what the Lord allowed to happen, and it has completely changed Adam's trajectory. It has completely changed his view on life, his view with his faith, our marriage, everything. One of our friends had this really, really beautiful vision for Adam. I won't go into the full vision, but it was basically that Adam was like sitting on a bench and life was completely gray. It was in black and white, and he was just expressionless. And basically it's just that something broke, and it's like everything split open and color came back to life, and green grass came, and and life was just had color again. And that's what is happening right now with Adam. Again, I don't like to prematurely talk about things, and I would really appreciate if you guys could lift him up in your prayers and really like just go to war for him in your prayers, that he's just has a hedge of protection over him. But we were warring like night and day all week, and we really thought we were never going to come out of this. And the way that the Lord uses for good is that, again, he gave Adam this totally new perspective on life and on just everything, and to show him different ways that the Lord needed him to live in his faith differently, or just do so many things differently. And even the fact that Adam has this incredible his so many incredible gifts of evangelism and exhortation, of encouraging people, leadership skills, and just being able to speak, his speaking abilities, and so many other gifts and talents that he has. But the enemy was really trying to suppress them, especially the last 2 years. Even before I met him, the enemy was really trying to silence his voice. And it's like he was able to, after coming through this, even though we're not fully out of the woods, but coming through this, I've been able to see Adam's gift. It's like he is launched. Like it was like the Lord used this to launch him further into his destiny, to really allow his gifts to, like, it was like his gifts were being suppressed, and then all of a sudden they like flew open after he was able to come out of this. And I can't even explain it, but this is what needed to happen. This is something that needed to happen. And so why I'm sharing this is not because I like to share the details of my personal life. I mean, I do, but once it's like later on, not when it's currently happening, when I can have a sermon out of it. But I wanted to share this with you guys because I seriously wanted you to know that you could be going through the most difficult thing right now. It could be trauma, it could be grief. I don't know what it is. And you could feel like God is not hearing you. He's not answering your prayers. You don't feel his presence. He's not there. But it says in the word that God works out all things for good for those who love him and who are called according to his purposes. And so we just kept declaring that over Adam. And that's what I wanted to share with you, is that whatever situation that you're in right now, keep declaring the word over yourself, over your life, and over your situation. Don't allow negative words to come out of your mouth, because it says in the Bible that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So even in Adam's situation, when words would come out of his mouth to speak negativity over his situation, we would just say, no, we're taking every single thought captive to the obedience of Christ. We are rebuking and renouncing any thoughts or any words that we have spoken over the situation, and we would only speak God's promises over the situation. Obviously, there were points where we were pleading, and like I was crying, and I'm like, God, are you here? Like, what's going on? But more importantly than like pleading and crying for God to heal us, it was more declaring that we already won the victory. We are already healed. So I just want to encourage you today that in your situation, don't even give the enemy one more moment. Don't give him one more day. Don't speak any of the things that the enemy is putting in your mind or over your situation. Don't even speak negativity over your situation of what you're seeing in the natural. Speak the complete opposite. Speak only life. Speak only the word, because the Lord's word, it cannot return void. So that's what, when we were speaking that over Adam, we were just declaring Psalm 91 over him. We were declaring the full armor of God over him and reading that passage over and over again. We were declaring that he is more than a conqueror. We were declaring that he can do all things through Christ who strengthens him. And anytime fear came in, we were saying that perfect love casts out fear. We were just declaring promises constantly, night and day, over him. And I just wanted to share that with you, that you don't need to try to run to anything else. Of course, there are things that we can do to help in these situations, but the most important thing of all is to continue thanking God for your breakthrough, thanking him for his promises, and declaring the word over your situation. And as impossible as it looks, he can use it for good. And that is truly what we experienced, of the most terrifying attack I have ever seen and Adam has ever felt and we've never ever experienced. But the Lord is like, he allowed it. He didn't cause it, he allowed it so that he could work it out for good for his purposes. And that's the thing, it says in the Bible, is that trials produce perseverance, and perseverance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame. So I just wanted to really encourage you today that God is going to be able to work your situation out for good, no matter how bad it looks. And sometimes it takes a little time. It's not always instant, but He is working behind the scenes for you. He is fighting for you. He's working on your behalf. And even the vision that our friend gave us, it was like these three angels, like two angels on each side of Adam and one angel in front of him. And they were these huge, mighty, powerful angels that were surrounding him. And I just wanted you to know that the Lord has angels fighting for you as well and surrounding you, and that the Lord is fighting for you. And like it says in scripture, you just need to be still. The Lord will fight your battles. You just need to be still. And the last thing I just wanted to add to this part of the story is that one of our friends, again, gave us this beautiful vision for Adam. And I won't go into the full vision, but just to kind of like sum it up, it was basically that, again, life was in black and white, life was gray and everything. And then the earth just like, it's like something just like broke open, and like green grass was springing forth, and life was springing forth, and everything was in color. And we were seeing little bits of that promise from the Lord. When we were driving to the airport, it was like the sky looked like it was cracked open with like the sun streaming in. There was a rainbow in the sky. And it was like a promise that the Lord was saying, I'm taking you through this, I'm bringing you through this, and this vision is coming to life of like everything looked gray, everything looked black and white, everything looked dull and hopeless. That's what it looked like. But on the other side of it, something is going to break, and then out of that is going to just like crack open life. And again, like the Lord was showing us little bits of heaven on earth as He was like coming through this, as He was starting to walk on the other side of what this looked like. And He showed us so many beautiful signs. Yeah, life is just, it's something is going to break in your situation. And I just want to declare that for anyone listening right now as well, that the Lord is going to bring you through this. Whatever the enemy is meaning for evil in your life, the Lord is going to work out for good, and that you truly are more than a conqueror, and you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You don't need to try to do it in your own strength. So that's what I wanted to share for today. Not looking for any sympathy, not looking for any advice on anything like that. Just prayers. If you can lift up Adam in your prayers, I would so appreciate it. And I just wanted to encourage someone with that today, even if it's one person who needed to come on and hear this video today. So I just want to thank you guys so much for watching these videos, for liking these videos. If you can give this video a thumbs up, and if you enjoyed it, then comment below, subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate your guys' support. To my Patreons, thank you guys so much. To my clients, all the links are below with everything that you need to see. I do Christian life coaching for women, so if you're interested in working together, if you'd like some relationship insight to grow in your faith more, to improve your well-being in your emotional and your mental health, goal setting, all these different things, I would love to hear from you. I would love to work with you. And then I also have my life coaching program where I'm certifying and equipping men and women to become Christian life coaches. I'll put the link to that below. If you sign up before February 1st, you'll receive a pretty big discount. And all the other links are below, with my podcast, with my clothing line, again, that I share with my friend. And anyways, all the links are below. So thank you guys so much. I see your messages, and I get like emails from you guys and DMs from you guys, from people all over the world, saying how there's a message that really helped you, and that encourages me, because even on the days when I'm struggling like I was this week, and I wake up and I get a message from someone saying like, keep doing what you're doing, or this video spoke to me, it means so much to me. And the Lord just like bless you guys for your obedience to reach out and to share. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.